Let's take a look at block number 2. Wow, even worse. You ready? I'm not inspired by life anymore. Nothing excites me. And if it does, it's fleeting. It's there for a moment, a day, a week, and then it's gone. I've seen this so many times when it comes to parents and kids. They get the kids a cool new game, an Xbox, whatever. And then after a couple of months or a couple of weeks, well, I just don't really care anymore. It's a novelty. I'm not inspired by life, which was interesting because it kind of piggybacks off of the last block where we were talking about instead of scrolling through your cell phone or watching TV. That inspires me. Unfortunately, Christy, I'm going to bring you into the conversation now. Going to that museum, that inspires me. Going to that nature, that inspires me. But does life inspire me? Do I inspire me? No, I don't. That's this block. Look at your life right now. Tell me, you don't have to say anything. I'm just going to ask this rhetorical question. Tell me, what about it can you really conceive of so far in the past up to today has really been inspirational enough to keep you motivated and going forward? Not externally, internally. And if you find something great, that's what we're actually looking for. That's amazing. But if you don't, we understand now why. Because I no longer inspire myself. We're looking for that muse. We just talked about how our life doesn't inspire us anymore. That's what it makes me feel like. A black cloud is following me. Rain and thunderstorms. It's not cute. It's not fun. It's not, let's go outside and play in the daisies. Vicky says, my growth within. That's great. And we use that inspiration when it comes, but is it consistent? It's not. At least it hasn't been. Comes and goes, the concept of ebb and flow. It comes and it goes. Kind of like the ocean waves. They come in and then they go out. Yeah, that's not bad because there's inspiration occasionally. But what about the rest of the time? What about when low tide's happening? I know for a certain fact every single person on this call understands what I'm talking about, because if your life was 100% inspiration all the time, you wouldn't be here on this call. So we understand now, right? Because we're looking for something external to give us this feeling. Vicky, or when my list is too long. When you complete that list, you'll finally feel great. But does that list ever get completed, or will there be another one tomorrow? So let's take a peek and see where this is coming from. What's the real deep root of this? You've grown up. You did not have this problem when you were a child. 3, 4, 5, 6 even. I personally remember running barefoot through everything, enjoying my life, screaming and yelling in a good, fun way. The root of this is you grew up, and that is not an adult energy. If I've grown up, I have to become responsible. I have to be responsible for other people sometimes, maybe your children. Whatever the reason may have been, it doesn't matter. The belief, the root is that's a child's belief. That's a child's energy. They don't have a care in the world. I do. I have so many things that I have to care about. And I don't have time in my day to be free. Nor do I even get that because I'm an adult. So I have to sacrifice. Now look at how this plays out in your lives. What else have you had to sacrifice for? Again, let's say you have children. You've had to sacrifice the majority of your life. They tell you having a kid is a lifelong commitment. So now we understand that this kind of spirals, this kind of snowballs. First, it's a child's energy. Second, it now gets exacerbated because of all of this need to be responsible for other people in and around my life. Maybe you get a job, then you have an even bigger net of people you have to be responsible to. It's almost unavoidable. So take yourself, either if it's in the future or in the past, to when you were 45 years old. Where is that freedom? Find it for me. Because you can't have it because you have to work to pay for your living. What if your mom and dad is sick and you have to be there to help take care of them? Something's always going to cause a problem because of this belief. Now we come back to the very beginning again. Because of all of these issues, everything that we've just discussed, and there's probably thousands of other things, I don't have the inspiration to live like that anymore. Lorna, joy and laughter has no age limit. We need to bring it back. We do. But can I? Can I bring that back into my life, knowing that I still have a rent to pay, a car payment to pay, food to buy, kids to take care of, pets to take care of, parents to take care of, house to live in, make a job to deal with? Okay, so that's great. I do have the time. 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day. I have to find the time. Is that worth it? In our ego's perspective, no, it's not. It's not enough. In your ego's perspective, it's all or nothing. Quit your job, have no kids, don't be responsible. That's the only way you'll find this, because that's what happened when you were 5. So your ego's perspective is very ridiculous. It's all or nothing. And in some certain circumstances, all or nothing is fine. I recommend all or nothing with self-love. Who wouldn't? But in this perspective, it's very difficult, right? Where's the balance? Find it, create it, be it, something. But we always come back to that first block that we cleared and we say that scrolling on TikTok is more important, because I get to disconnect from the things in my life that caused me chaos or havoc or something. Well, that's great. Okay, cool. Love it. It disconnected you from society for a few moments, or maybe it actually connected you deeper. I don't know. But self-love is far more potent, far more healing. In the phrase disconnected, far more disconnecting from society, from the chaos of it, at least. Self-love. So we now understand the root. We got a little bit of the truth, but let's bring in more. This is like a riddle. You can solve it. It's absolutely possible. What I mean to say is find the time. If it was for somebody else, you'd have found it. Raise your hand if that is true for you. If it was for somebody else, you would have found the time for them. So we have the capacity, we understand, we know. Now it's time to turn it back to us. I'm not saying don't find the time for them, whatever. What I am saying is find the time for you. And in that space where you're reflecting back to yourself intentionally, full of self-love, doing something potentially with the earth, whatever it ends up being, that is where you'll find the inspiration to live. And beyond that, the first limiting belief that we had cleared today was life to the fullest. And I'm going to say this is definitive. Hear me when I say this. You will not find the inspiration to live life to the fullest until you turn that mirror back into you. Look at yourself. You might be able to come up with arguments. Doesn't matter. They mean nothing. What matters is you will not have the inspiration to live life to the fullest until you look back within you. And in doing so, you've solved all the problems that you think you have in life. I have to pay rent. I have to pay my car payment. I have blah, blah, blah. That's how you solve them. And yes, I said solve, like it's a task to overcome. Rent is not a monthly situation, even though technically that's what it is. If you're manifesting, it's not in your reality every month. Does that make sense? When you turn that, when you look back into that mirror and introspection and self-love and bring that stuff back into you, is when you have the inspiration to live the life that you want to the fullest. Remember, I don't know how many times I have to say this before it'll sink in, but we're going to say it again and again and again. What's in your highest good is in the highest good of those around you. You might feel that you're limiting somebody else's life because you're not giving them all the attention. You're not. You're giving them love when you give it to you. Do we get that? Your ego will tell you that you are neglecting them. That is absurd. What are you actually giving them when I've always talked about it like dollars in the bank, but loves in the bank. When you've given all of your loves away, what are you actually giving to them? There's nothing left to give. So look at you. Let's integrate all that into every level of your being. Okay, so as I'm integrating this truth, the DNA strand is coming right away. And it looks to me like, I don't even know what it looks like. All I can say is that it looks like strength. I don't know exactly what kind of image I'm seeing. I can't tell if it's an animal or not. It's went in way too fast for me to actually, look at it. But it symbolizes strength. Now, what's interesting is the strength is then integrated deeply within inside of your beingness, which indicates the strength comes from you. The money comes from you. The health comes from you. Everything comes from you. So that's what this is symbolizing. Let's integrate this DNA strand and everything else that we've come to with truth. That's truth into every level of your being. Okay, what's interesting is that while I'm integrating these things, these truths and this whatever this DNA strand ended up being, it's like you're pulling in so much more truth, inspiration, love. I can't tell you what it is because it's different for everybody, but I see it's kind of like a little tether between you and that thing, and it's like, come with me, let's go, we can do this. Whatever that thing may be for you, it's like you're pulling it in. And what was exciting about it was the tethers were all the color purple. And I'm curious, what does purple mean societally speaking? Then, of course, I'll see if that means anything for you all. Purple is creativity. Good enough for me. There was a bunch of other ones in that list, which is why I said good enough. The rest were irrelevant. What it actually meant for you was, I can do it. I can figure out a way. Now, I have one question before I end this block. Do you want to figure out a way? That's the question. Well, now that we have that answer, now you can do it. Let's finish making sure that's all fully integrated. Anchored in. Perfect.